Today we're going to be going over the things that every single Call of Duty Zombies player hates. Let's get into it. I think every player can say that they absolutely hate expensive startups. I don't know why, Zetsubo no Shima specific, but there's some other maps. But having a startup that costs over 20,000 points just to get the essentials going absolutely inhibits the player so much. And with slight mess-ups, you can absolutely ruin your game, especially when you have to get jug on higher rounds in the startup. Like really, there's no point to actually have this many doors. I'm mainly using Zetsubo no Shima because this is the perfect example of an expensive map. Because really, it's round 9. I don't even have Pack-a-Punch available because I'm not using any gobble gums that help with points. Maps like Black Ops 2 Origins, Zetsubo no Shima, Gorod Krovi, Call of the Dead, some Black Ops 4 maps like Blood of the Dead, all are extensively expensive. But really, I think we could all agree that just in general, it's a really bad concept that really just draws out the setting up process in a not good way. It just feels like it's intentionally drawn out to make the player work even harder for the setup. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy a long setup once in a while, but doing it to the point where it's round 15 and I don't even have Pack-a-Punch and I'm relying on the mystery box to give me one of the best weapons, aka the Marshall 16s, is absolutely horrible, and it really makes the player just really question if they even want to play the map at all. There's better ways to do things, and I believe that could be through challenges. I would rather do a hard challenge rather than do a hard setup because I get rewarded for it in a specific way that is more rewarding than just buying doors over and over. I genuinely haven't met one person who's actually like, yeah, I enjoy the extensive setup. I like paying 20,000 points just for the doors to be open. And usually maps like this, you're gonna have to be doing something extra on top of that, like an extensive Pack-a-Punch or an extensive power system. And then everything else after that point is easier, which makes really no sense if you really think about it. I don't know, I think it's just a personal opinion, but I just hate extensive setups where it's overly expensive. Call me over dramatic, but I'm still upset that tier 5 Tombstone has not been fixed, and it will never get fixed. It genuinely bugs me that in season 2 Cold War Zombies with Firebase C, we got this dog water perk that doesn't work and is honestly just a waste of points and a perk slot. Every time you use Tombstone Shadow, you're either spawning super far away or too close to the point where the zombies can chase after you as soon as you spawn. Another issue I have with this perk, you don't get the perks back that you're guaranteed with tier 5. For some reason, they never fixed it, even though not even a week ago, they added an assault rifle. They added new maps to multiplayer, but no, Tombstone is just going to get left behind and nobody talks about it enough, and I know it's over dramatic, but oh my god, it's so irritating. Like really, you're better off just using Quick Revive tier 5 rather than just using Tombstone tier 5, because you get a free revive with a pistol and you get more perks back than you do with Tombstone, which I don't know why. It should give you more perks with Tombstone, but it doesn't. The perk does absolutely nothing when you're not in the shadow as well. You have to have the shadow active to have all your abilities activated. And the crazy thing is, you don't even have to be half good at zombies or even half decent to not have this perk even be activated. It's one of those perks that honestly just seems filler as it did in Black Ops 2, and overall just isn't a good perk at all. Like, do you see the spawn distance? I'm 34 meters away from my body with a mimic just chasing me around alongside with these zombies with a starting shotgun. I don't know why they don't have minimum distance, and this is just on Firebase C as well. It could get even farther with Forsaken and also Marauder Totem. I would genuinely rather just have 11 perks in the game. I don't know how much there are specifically, but honestly, I'd rather they just take it out of the game, so when I go to the Wonder Sphere machine, I don't have to dig through perks just to avoid this one. And I think every player honestly could agree with me on that. I've been playing zombies for over a decade at this point, and I've never met one player that's like, oh boy, let's go spin the mystery box. I can't wait to spin it 20 times just to get the wonder weapon. World at War, Black Ops 1, and Black Ops 2 have this problem where you have to spin the mystery box at least a minimum of 10 times just to get the wonder weapon. And that's on a lucky day. If you are having a bad game, you could be spinning the mystery box for at least 15 rounds for the wonder weapon. And I like chaoticness in my game, but if they had the option to actually have a side quest where you can get the wonder weapon, it would make more sense. And then the mystery box has a faster option if you're speedrunning. It really bugs me when I constantly have to just waste my points. Rather, I could be buying doors, perks, upgrades like Pack-a-Punch, and much more, rather than spending the mystery box 20,000 times because I have hope that I'm going to get a really good weapon. And in Black Ops 2 this doesn't apply as much, but realistically this just goes as in general. I just really think it's a bad idea to constantly have the player spending the mystery box, and I think the person behind this was Jimmy Zielinski when he was dealing with, you know, Zombies at the time as the main director. And then of course once we got to, you know, Jason Blundell's side, we didn't have to do it as much, and we see this in Origins, Mob of the Dead, Shadows of Evil, Rise and Drac, etc, etc. It's just a really old and outdated concept that it is nice to pull it from the mystery box instead of doing a side quest, but if you're not interested in that, you should be able to just go and do a quest for it. Overall, I just don't think many players are very excited to do that. I think one thing that stops players from going back and playing World at War is how buggy and how you stick to zombies when meleeed. I understand it was a World at War issue and they didn't have much funding as they do today. Oh my god, having to stick to zombies when being hit, it just really inhibits the player from using a melee up close in the early rounds for that extra 130 points. Because really, there's no point to actually risk your life in order to just get a couple extra points when there's no quick revive in this game for solo players, and it just really makes a hassle for the solo player when you're just constantly trying to melee. But up close in other games and co-op as well, you stick to zombies, which gets really frustrating after a while. I genuinely wish this got fixed because it really, you know, it gets annoying having to deal with this kind of just actions when the zombies just stick to you, especially when you want to go back and play some of the classic map on the classic system. You know, when you have to do that on like Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 3, it doesn't feel the same as it normally would, and I don't know, I just don't like going back and playing World at War for this especially. And some of the weapons are kind of trash, but that's really besides the point. Overall, I don't think any player wants to stick to zombies every time they get swung at, because really at the end of the day it gets in the way, and if you don't have Jug, it is really scary just having to constantly deal with that. Genuinely, I think everybody would like Moon if it was not for the cosmonaut. This perk thieving bot just goes around the map sneakily without noise and steals your perks when getting grabbed. It constantly puts players on their toes, and with solo players you could lose all of your quick revives just from him alone. He steals a random perk, and if you only have one or two, it's a 50-50 shot between each ore, but if you kill him quick enough when grasped, you can get out of that situation. He constantly follows the player around, and even if you are near the quick revive machine, he could spawn right next to it, and when buying quick revive, he will steal it from you immediately. I don't know why they have him spawn every single time at the quick revive machine. It is nice to have him spawn, but when you're next to the quick revive machine, he has the chance to take it away from you, which is absolutely ridiculous. I genuinely believe nobody likes him at all. I don't know anybody who genuinely likes him besides for like a chaotic feel, but other than that, he could do stupid stuff like that. Like, why is that even possible in COD Zombies? It's ridiculous. And finally, we have monkeys in general from Black Ops 1, regardless if they're the ones from Ascension or if the ones from Shangri-La, but overall, these pesky, annoying bosses just constantly get in the way and keep you on your toes. I will give it to Ascension, it is nice to actually have somewhat of a challenge, but when playing solo with a perkaholic, either or in Black Ops 1 or 3, it really stresses the player out to constantly running around the map, dealing with monkeys, and then also on top of that, running back and forth between each and every single perk just to make sure monkeys aren't on them. Of course, if you do this flawlessly, you will be rewarded with a perk, but at the end of the day, most players are just running Perkaholic on Black Ops 3, so really that doesn't matter. Shangri-La monkeys do get annoying, but at the same time, it's more so like you could kill them and be rewarded with them, so this mainly applies to Ascension. It really makes the player pick in between which perks are more expensive, which ones are more reliable, if they have quick revive on solo, this, that, and the other, but overall, I think most players can say they would rather take a difficult map over the monkeys on Ascension. They really just get in the way of the player, and they are a fun difference in between like maps like Keynote or Toten 5, but overall I think everybody just hates these little guys just because they steal your perks, and really if you don't have much points at the time, they could really set you back and even in your game. I think that is about going to wrap it up. If you made it this far, you deserve a cookie and I love you. Make sure you check out the links in the description, and also leave a like and subscribe. If I hit 2,000 before June, I will be doing a face reveal, so there's that. But other than that, gamers, I will see you guys in the next one. I hope you have a wonderful day. See ya!